All right, Nick's going to explain to us how he did the bell ringer. Let's pay close attention. Nick, whenever you give them the coordinates, will you read them out loud so that way those that's joining us on Google Meet can hear you, please?
Okay, so what I did was, I just, vector is, I subtracted 2 from every x coordinate, so on the first one, and I did wrong. Okay, never mind. I did that wrong.
But that's okay. Just go ahead and
Well,
what
for
you
some
did.
reason I subtracted 5 from all, didn't I? Yeah, I didn't do the y.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I subtracted 5 for some reason from all of them.
You subtracted 5
From
from.
all the y coordinates.
What should you have done instead of subtracting?
Add 5.
Add 5. Awesome. All right. So if you want to, you can go ahead. They can help you.
Yeah, I got you, Nick. So 4 plus 5 is 9. And negative 5 plus 5 is 0.
Right here?
Yeah, I'm going in order.
9.
I got negative 10. Wait. You did 0. And 12.
All right. Now read your coordinates out loud.
Okay, A prime is 0, 9. B prime is negative 4, 0. And C prime is negative 8, 12.
Thank you. Brett, tell us, do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Yeah, very good. And I like how you realized the mistake you made just while explaining it. A lot of times, that's whenever we realize the mistake we made is when we go to start explaining it to people. All right, what questions do you have for me on the bell ringer? Okay. You put your bell ringer away. Well, actually, you're not going to have a bell ringer tomorrow either because tomorrow you take your actual test. So if you want to go ahead and put test on tomorrow's bell ringer and then pass your bell ringers to the front and to the right, and you didn't have one yesterday since you had a practice test yesterday. I'm going to pass out your progress reports. It's 2 pages, but you can see your grade. Like the bottom just tells you how I calculate your grade. It's 50% test, 35% classwork, 15% homework. So the majority of your grade comes from test, but your first test will be tomorrow, so there's not a test grade on there. It says grades are calculated using a formula, 50% test, 35% classwork, and 15% homework. Students that have below a 70 are required to have their parents sign the progress report and return it by Monday, February 8th. I'm giving you an extra day since I wasn't here yesterday to pass these out, and I didn't want to leave them with the sub to pass out just because of privacy. So if everybody can get it signed and bring it back tomorrow or Monday for 5 bonus points. But if you have below a 70, it's required. So 69 below, it's required. But it's due by Monday. Whenever I give you your progress report, I'll pick up your chapter 5 review.
We have a lot of people on, or just
You have 3 people.
No, it's reposted. I know, that's why I was like, wait, you posted that in my hair. I just want a little girl. Well, okay.
Natalie, do you want to go get your mask? You can. Before we get to the next thing.
I'm 17 here.
You born 2004.
Huh?
Were you born 2004?
Yeah.
What? That's born 2003. I was born 2003.
Wait, 2004. When's your birthday?
You got it?
January 6th?
Okay.
I thought I retired grade was 2003. No.
No.
No, not everyone in our grade.
2004.
Taylor, we're old.
I'm like almost one of the youngest in our grade. I'm probably like one of the 10 youngest.
So you
I
could be
think
a sophomore.
I could be, yeah.
Taylor.
I'd be like the oldest sophomore. You know how Gabe is like a whole
That's how my brother is. My brother's like the youngest in the grade right now.
Yeah. Maybe she's like a whole year older than me.
What?
Chris Hall won't turn 17 until like this.
Hey, Mansford's like 2 years older than all of us.
He's in our grade. That's amazing, yeah.
Hey, is there anyone that I did not pick up your chapter 5 review word when I come by?
Yeah, I remember you guys. UK.
Sadler, isn't he?
That's the best
year
friend
older?
No, Jason's like about to be 19.
Really?
Yeah.
Nick, what happened?
I got an A minus.
I have it on 7. Woo.
I've had that since like 6th grade.
Alright, the next thing I have is your 5.4 quiz. Quizzes are really good study guides for tests, so I wanted you to have this before, so that way you could use it to study for your test.
I made 100 on it.
That's
What I would usually do, or what I figured out what to do in college, how to study, was I would go back and redo homework assignments or quizzes, and I would try not to use notes. And if I had to use notes, then I knew I needed to do another problem. If I didn't have to use notes and I did really good on it, then I knew I didn't need to go back and study that.
Just coming if I was one of those 86 people, I'm gonna be very mad at myself because I made 100 on all these quizzes. I'm mad at myself.
So only like 3 of us made 90.
I made
2 or 3.
91 and 92.
And then-
But a lot of people made an 86.
So they don't have to.
How's that work?
The 90 and above, can keep, if they want to, they can keep their scores.
I
And they
made
won't have to,
91 and 92.
I'm asking
and
so I was
that's
supposed to
last
use graph paper and you told me no.
to like redo it on graph
Yeah, 'cause those
paper.
graphs are counting like 2s and then we had
That's
to.
what.
Yeah, they were very confusing.
Yeah,
It was so hard.
I didn't notice that until I was doing the answer key yesterday after school. If I would have noticed that before I gave you the test,
I mean, I figured you wouldn't care, but he was like, well, I don't see.
I
why
knew
you
I got
was
something
like,
mixed
okay.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I get anything wrong, it's graphic.
It's definitely the graphic.
Yeah, I would say a lot of people that missed, the first 2, or a lot of people that missed, it was because of the graphing.
I made it.
I don't know how I did that.
Did you have to put it like between
Oh,
the
what?
line, between the 2 points? Is that what you guys had to do?
What? Yeah.
Put it? Okay.
I thought it was all divided by
Maybe
the.
we'll be the 200 or 90.
You wait till miserable this one.
What?
I hate it.
Oh, Mia was about to have a stroke.
She told me about it.
I had to give her a drink of
Somebody
water.
said no work next door.
She sweats really bad.
Oh, I know.
Bad.
I know. It's so funny.
Yeah, it is.
So much better than watch how break down that was really bad for you. Don't break that one.
Okay, so what else? What? So I posted it, but my page on Instagram is private. And so like, the DMs or whatever didn't see my
So
photo.
you can't be a private account man, I guess.
Well,
No, you
because
can't.
they
You have to
can't
make
see
sure
it.
you tag.
No, I tagged them, but I don't think
you
they
have to
saw it
make sure you
because,
follow them too.
because they don't, I do follow them, but they don't follow me, so they can't see it. And so
I heard
Jacob
too.
posted my
And
story,
then
and
he
Did
just
you
public.
guys
he tagged DHS Stuco, so that's how he
That
won.
makes more sense, but I was like,
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
else pays that.
I'm gonna be the one making
That's
that.
like,
It is
decision.
like,
no, but that's
I
not good translation.
I got
21.
I was like, but I was
What
like,
is that to do with?
well, I guess it was not
I didn't think we
appropriate at all. Wait, you got in trouble for that?
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
I don't even remember what you were wearing.
Leather leggings. And
I
leggings
should
are
go
great.
back.
Everyone was wearing
Listen,
leather
dude,
leggings.
You're not talking about your parents?
Yes, I was like, I told you
So
you
what
were
are
walking
you
out the house.
Oh,
and
I
got-
thought
You got saved from having to do the bell ring.
What's
so-
component for?
No.
Yeah, we got that.
I thought that was component for.
Yes!
I did this.
Dang it! I got an eight.
Where- I did that.
It's like,
Let's go.
I got an
oh,
86
man,
on
it
this.
did really good on it.
Like this.
Oh!
Look how
That's
good
a
my
B.
shoes are.
I
I
know.
Horrible.
watched them
I
for
know.
some I only missed one.
And it's all because of 3 and 4.
I wish we were in
Me too.
mine too.
Because I didn't know it.
Like the pictures,
too.
like going
I
to
would have
school.
to I'm so hard. I don't know.
I wrote the long version, like the
Hey.
X -97 comma
Anything on the back.
Yeah, there's only 2 of
The
us.
long,
Don't
the
have
long
to.
thing.
Probably like this is
I wrote
because I must have those.
like that. I wrote that.
You do the right thing on that.
Is that why I missed this one? Yes, because it only asks for the component form. So
Oh,
you,
wait a minute.
You did more than I did.
no, because you have to know which one component form
I got a
is.
question. What's component for? I
I
forgot.
got a question for you.
That's-
What about this?
How much are 3 and 4?
Show him the
Wait,
component
why
form.
What's
Did
component?
you get number 4 right?
What is
This
that?
little-
I got half.
I did. I wrote that
No,
one.
it's the one I think it's circled, it's the ones I circled.
That's what I thought it was.
Sydney.
What? Did you get 3?
Oh.
And then
No, I
this
had
one you use the
two.
wire
What's
really
3 and
bad.
4?
Like, will you show her?
I
what
got
number
X,
actually
Y.
is?
That's what I got.
Wait, what's the
How much are 3 and 4 were? 'Cause I totally had a brain fart.
Every problem was worth 7. You either got it right, got half credit, or got it wrong. The reason I did that was so it's easy for you to fill out your test analysis.
I had a major brain fart with 3 and 4. I could not think of it.
I don't know.
Well, apparently I got wrong.
Wait, do I have to do this today?
13 confused me a
I
lot.
just missed
Do what today?
This?
This you're doing over the practice test, so you can know what it's saying
Greg
tonight.
got the T in my phone.
Let's go, but I'm mad.
Alright, look.
No, I was fine. If it wasn't 3 and 4, I would definitely would have passed this.
Yeah, I'm
I
just.
just didn't write. You
The
know, I-
comment form is the vector.
Dude, it was.
Like, you know, it's like this, it's like negative
All
this is the comment form.
So that's how
What,
we
dude,
set
that's
that.
because I did it.
That's what your
One,
answer
three,
should
four,
look
three,
like.
79. I didn't see any of
I
that.
did every other
That was
answer.
half point.
Like,
Instead of them giving you this
Yeah, I'm in A.
and having you use the vector to find the new point, they gave you this and the new point and told you to come up with the
What do you
vector.
get, Tim?
How many did you miss, Natalie?
Me?
Yeah, altogether, how many did you miss on your
First
paper?
7 all because I.
That's pass, y'all good.
I only missed 2.
What?
Alright,
Yeah,
alright guys, if I can have your attention, please. You're gonna fill out,
We missed the same one.
instead of waiting and doing this on your actual test, I wanted it to do it on the practice test, so that way you will know what to study today and tonight. Whenever you go home for the test tomorrow, you'll know what sections you need to study. So everyone's gonna need a red, green, and orange colored pencil. I've got some of them sharpened, or you can use markers. Now, if it has it marked wrong, that means you got it fully wrong and you need to color it red. If it says minus half, that means you got partial credit and you color it orange. If there's no mark and you got it right, you color it green. And then you go through and add up your points. Green is 1 point, orange is half a point, red is 0 points. And then if you notice, I added a thing on here where it says correct total. It's how many points you got out of 4. So that way, whenever you go to find your percentage, you'll know what to divide it by. So I try to make that easier. So if it's right, if there's no markings and it's right, you need to color it green. If it says minus a half, color it orange. And if it's just marked wrong with no minus half, color it red.
Isn't it crazy? I literally only missed 2 full ones because I had a freaking brain fart and I have to retake them. That's like.
But now you should make 100 on
So
the
wait,
test.
if
Yeah,
we
I
make
should.
a worse grade tomorrow, do you keep this one?
No, I take the grade of your actual test.
So, do they have to go to tutoring?
No. Now, if they fail the test tomorrow, then they'll have to.
Oh, I've been saying this too, but I do not have, I can't go to tutor today.
No, this was a practice test. This is so that way you can see what you need to study for the test tomorrow.
So we'll just work on like
Yeah, you'll do, those of you that aren't taking, so are you happy with your grade? You're good?
I'm not taking it tomorrow.
Okay, after you're done and your test analysis, you'll give me back your test so I can put it with theirs for tomorrow and put your grade.
No, I didn't do it the second time.
And then tomorrow you'll just start on your vocab.
I literally missed 2. Wait,
Tomorrow, can we use like graph paper? Because it was really hard to figure out, like,
I
some
will,
of them counted by 2, some of them counted by 1, and then
I will either make it so that way they count by ones on your paper, or I'll tell you to get, or I'll give you graph
Wait.
paper.
I know Natalie asked, and he was like, maybe not.
Yeah, I should have left. I didn't realize that they counted by 2s on a couple of them until after.
Like some did 2s and then some
Some
had
didn't.
like
See
1.
how-
Even on the back, like the
Yeah,
first
like
one went by
that.
2s and that
I
one
was
by
like, wait,
ones.
I had to keep erasing, it took me like forever.
Wait,
That's
so
why
how do I
I
add
missed
this
this one,
up?
because
That's morning?
I did
And
the
there's 5,
first
so when I
line,
just
I
have
put-
those.
I like how I got all the
Yeah.
graphs right,
Which one?
but like
I'll
the
do the second
easiest.
round.
Are those red
No,
or green?
literally,
Or
I
red
did
or
not,
orange?
I didn't know.
Those are orange. Everyone's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5.
Oh, those are half.
Yeah, oranges are halves.
And then I just.
Alright, let me go check on the people on Google Meet and see if they have any questions or need anything.
No, I honestly thought it was just 8 and 9.
If it wasn't from 34,
Oh, yeah, I hate these. I'm not good at these.
I'm not either. I thought I was gonna miss
So
it.
I just kind of guessed, and I was like, everything's fine. I didn't know there was a back.
I know, I saw, you were like taking your sweet time.
No, I know.
Bailey, I will check my email and get that printed off. Make sure that you get a reply back from me saying, hey, I received your work. And then tomorrow, or today, we're doing our test analysis from the practice test. And then we're going to be, if we have time, we're going to review for the test tomorrow. Or I'm going to talk about a few things that I noticed on the test. And then tomorrow when you join, you'll need to make sure that you join with your phone so that way you can turn your camera on and so I can watch you take the test. Now, I will not need to see like your face. I'll just need to see like, have your camera away from you so I can see everything that's around you and everything that you're using and your computer screen.
Okay, well, I need to put stuff up in the mailbox today, or like outside.
Okay, yes, I will, toward the end of the day, I will be getting your progress report and quizzes and stuff back to you so you can use them to study. So that way you can come up and pick them up.
Okay, I'll go after school's out and get them.
So did you get quarantined again, or did you just come back sooner than what you were supposed to?
No, I got quarantined again.
Are you? That's
I'll
just
be out for, until the 17th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How many 100% scores?
You don't know your personal goal yet. We won't do that until you take the actual test tomorrow.
How do we do that
Can I
percent?
put 90 on mine?
Correct.
Not on your goal, but on your test score, you can put 93. Or, sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud. No, your personal goal, we don't know what that is yet. You can erase that. Yeah, we haven't figured out your personal goal. Everybody's is probably a 60, but I'm gonna send you that link tomorrow, and we'll do the personal goal and stuff tomorrow.
so I missed 1.5. So
How do I get percent correct?
like 2.5, right? 4 minus 1.5 would be 2.5.
Yes, there's on the top one. Yeah. All right, now once you get is everybody ready for the percentage?
How do I get percent? Oh, that's first time.
Yes, I'm waiting until I can tell everybody. Is that what you're waiting on? Okay, so to get your percentage, I made this easier for you because what I did was, is everyone okay with how to add up their points, how many points they got? Green, you add 1 point, orange, you add a half a point, red, you add 0. And then over to the side, the first one, it says it's out of, what is it, out of 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you got 2 out of 4. You would do 2 divided by 4 times 100, and that gives you your percentage. So all you gotta do is what that box tells you to do. So like if you got a 3 out of 4, you would do 3 divided by 4 times 100 and see what percentage they give you. And then that's the percentage you got on each section. Now notice, look at your sections. Look at your percentage on 5.1, translations. Look at your percentage on 5.2, reflections. And then 5.3, rotations, and 5.4, dilations. I would say for the most part, I think everybody did good on dilations, for the most part. So that's probably a section that you really don't need to spend that much time on. A lot of people had trouble with section 5.1, the translations. So I would say that's probably a section you need to either go back and watch the notes video and like watch an example from each part, or go back and do the 5.1 quiz and grade yourself on that quiz if you do it correctly. Or just do some practice problems from the homework, watch some videos on big ideas.
Is that going on first attempt score or what?
Well, what about our new grade? Like, are we gonna fill out a new one of these?
You're not gonna do the test analysis, but whenever you do compare your goal, and if you met your goal, you're gonna use your test that you take tomorrow. So that's why I didn't have you fill out your goal or anything today.
Is it the same one?
It's not gonna be the exact same test. It's gonna be a lot like it.
That honestly sucks, because like, it was only 3 and 4 that I missed.
Yeah, you just had to miss 2 problems to not be able to take it. If you missed 1 or 1.5, you didn't have to take it, because 1 point, or 1 question was,
I was half a
93.
point.
1.5 is 90, 2 is 86.
Yeah.
I was off it by a half a point because the graph went by 2, not 1.
All right, a couple things I noticed that people made mistakes on. I wanted to point those out. One thing is vector form, or I'm sorry, component form. -2, 5. This is component form. This means subtract 2 from the x, add 5 to the y, or it means move left 2 and up 5.
What if we wrote that on the,
It depends on what they ask for.
Okay, that's all I need to know right there. Like,
If they ask for component form, that right there is what they're asking for. Now, let's say that they gave you P, which is 2, 3, and P prime, let me write component form here. And P prime is 6, -2. And they want you to write the component form that goes from this point to this point. Okay, so if I can have everybody's attention, please, because almost everybody missed this question. And they're asking what component form takes P to P prime. Well, all you do is look to see what they did from P to P prime. So to get from 2 to 6, they would have to add 4, and to get from 3 to -2, they would have to subtract 5. So the component form would be 4, -5. That's
See, I thought
component form.
component form was the X.
So how do you write it out?
Like I did on my paper.
Like this would be the answer. If they ask for a component form, this would be the answer. Now, if they ask for a rule, which is what a lot of people did, when they ask for a rule, you just take this and put it as a rule. X, Y is translated to X plus 4, Y minus 5.
Oh, it wasn't asking for that?
It was not asking for the rule, it was asking for the component form. Now, if you did the rule and you got the rule correct, now I only did partial credit because you got the rule correct, which is awesome. You just didn't know,
That's what
didn't know what component form was.
Yeah. That's why I think all of them.
Yeah, so like I said, if you got this part right, I gave you partial
The
credit.
only reason why I
I
heard
wrote both to make sure I would get it right.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was like. Well, that means that they're not really sure which one is the component form.
And the only reason why I did that, because I remember on one of our tests that we all missed that one because you were asking for a rule, but we wrote the vector form. It's like, that's the one, so that's why I wrote it.
Make sure you pay attention to the questions. Let me see your test. Oh, on number 5, the y-axis, really all I did was count it over. But if you want to use the rules, it's -x, y. You just change the sign of x. D, y equals x. I think a lot of people were thinking either y-axis or x-axis. So they reflected over the x-axis rather than reflecting across y equals x. Y equals x, you just flip them around. Lincoln, question?
What did you say the X or the Y-axis formula thing is?
It's -x, y. You change the sign of x, or you can just count over. Say that again.
Are we gonna get to use our foldable on the?
Yes. Yeah, there was way too many rules for you to have to memorize in
And
order
then-
to not use them.
The X-axis, is that X -Y?
Yes. Yeah, you change the
I
sign of
just had
y.
it written down, that's why I missed one, because I had it written down on here.
Number 7, y equals -1. A lot of people graph y equals 1 or y equals -2.
That was me.
Oh my god, that's so annoying.
I grabbed
They graphed it on that line, y equals -2.
I think it's a
because
single
the
graph
first
on
line,
all.
because they counted by 2.
Yeah, that's the one I was confused on.
Yeah, like I said, if I would have noticed that they counted by 2s on here, I would have either redid, like, put different graphs on here, or I would have left it
I almost
alone.
thought about.
See that, remember, I put a note there, I said I just went by the line count, but on the graph, I didn't know.
That was so.
I mean,
it wasn't matching.
You could have, cause B is 1.5 away, so B prime would be 1.5 away from the other side.
That's what I did, apparently, no, maybe not, I don't know.
Whenever it asks for how many or determine the number of lines of reflections, don't just draw the lines of reflections, like tell me a number, like 1, 4. Now, if you drew 1 line of reflection, and that was right, I gave you partial credit. Or on number 9, if you drew the 4 lines of reflection correctly, a line of reflection means you can fold it and it directly lines up to itself side by side, kind of like a butterfly. You know, like you used to do in elementary school, like fold stuff in half.
Was that right, 4 and 1, right?
Yes. 10, 11, 12, and 13, most people got those right. A few people used a 90-degree rotation on number 10, the rule for that instead of 270. Most people got the 180 correct. That's where you just change the sign of both. 12 and 13, the people that did miss those, I would say it was because they graphed their points incorrectly. But for the most part, everybody got 12 and 13.
I did the extra work, I put enlargement and reduction, it didn't ask.
What was the right?
I hate you so much.
All right. What questions do you have for me?
I feel stupid. But like not stupid, like stupid.
Okay, so, is your data folder the blue one?
Yep.
Okay, you're gonna need to put your test analysis in your data folder.
Do we keep our practice one to study?
Yes, keep your test to study unless you're gonna keep your test grades and I need your test. That way I can use it to put in to the, grade book. You're
So
keeping it right.
tomorrow there's gonna be vocab.
I haven't made it yet, but from the vocab that I looked at, I didn't really like it.
Don't put books
Yeah,
up.
please don't, because I knew all of
I
you.
don't know, I
Please
can
don't.
do it, I don't know what it
Yeah,
means.
I just didn't know the component for it. What's the
Right,
component?
right, yours.
I'm like,
I got one wrong.
On my desert, both of them freaking component for it. Oh, that's not bad.
How do you get 0, negative 1?
Yes. I would do today's bell ringer though. Okay,
You
you
know my
guys.
shirt that I'm wearing, my shoulder pad?
but now?
Look, that did it.
What's the point of shoulder pad?
I don't know. Yeah, but who was the point of shoulder pads back in the 80s?
What did I do?
She was like, I long enough.
Yeah.
For her mom.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I used to have some shirts that had shoulder pads in them because my mom always wanted me to dress it because she always did my pants, you know, like she tightened my bottom and rolled them up and all that
So this
stuff.
looks bulky.
I think so. You know, I really don't know.
I don't know. Cause see, Dad used to always get like suits that had the shoulder pad, and so would Mom.
But it's different.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't,
makes you feel more.
I don't know the actual reasoning behind it.
Oh, do we put it in our thing?
Yes, put it behind. But this was to show you what you need to study tonight for your test tomorrow. It tells you what section you need to study.
Fall back on the
Put all
front.
this randomly first.
Back, the last back of them.
Like, just like random, like.
Like I like my hair today.
It looks cute. I like
It does
it.
look cute.
So like, I just woke up this morning, I took a shower, last night, woke up and I was like, I'm not even gonna cover it, I'm just gonna go over the button.
No, that's what I did.
All right, once you get your folder filled out, you can go ahead and return your folder.